Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the X Factor podcast. We're not stars. We're not superstars. We are X Factors. We're changing the game. Fred, Troy, Kayla Sports Talk. We're back. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Fred Wise, and I'm joined, as always, by Troy Coomer and Kayla Wilson. Boys, how we doing today?
Living. How you doing, Caleb?
Can't complain.
Can't
Cannot
complain at all.
complain.
Snow is falling. Feels like winter finally.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful day.
Fresh off work, I might smell a little bad, but I'm gonna get some sports.
No
talk.
shower. He's rolling in here all musty.
He's got his Mountain Dew. He's ready to ride.
He's got his dooski.
I needed me some Mountain Dew to pick up the energy.
I love it. But so again, with the NFL, we're gonna hop right in. Fred's record last week, another perfect week for Fred, 2-0. His last 2 weeks, he's been 6-0, improving his record to 62-27.
Who said the Buccaneers and the Chiefs would be in the Super Bowl? Sorry, continue.
I think it was you, if I do.
I think we had just established it was you.
Oh, we already went over that. Sure.
Okay, and I also was 2-0 and improved my record to 63-26. But Fred, can you keep the hot streak rolling next week and go 7-0 to end it off? That'd be pretty impressive. But a quick shout out again. We've been doing this all playoff long to the Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers, we don't know how many times we'll see him in these bigger games. So we got to hold on to these moments. And the Buffalo Bills, they'll be back. They'll be back. Sure. But the Packers are very, very interesting. They have a lot of questions that need to be answered, in my opinion. One was the comments that Aaron Rodgers recently came out with about being uncertain about his future. And, you know, the future is a beautiful mystery, I think is how he said it. Fred.
Well, he was on the Pat McAfee show and kind of
elaborated on that to a little bit. Yeah. Do you think that's, people taking it out of context? What do you think about Rodgers there?
I do. I think he's a Green Bay Packer next year. I don't see him playing anywhere else.
Doesn't he have like 3 years left on his deal too?
Yeah, he has a big contract. I don't see him playing anywhere else but green and yellow for the rest of his career. So
yeah, and again, the Buffalo Bills. But the Packers, real quick, they need to get another wide receiver. I had to throw that out there. Devontae Adams can't do it all. I love Devontae Adams.
This is the class to do it, man.
This is the class. This is the free agent class as well. There's some very solid free agents out there. And just to reiterate on the Buffalo Bills, they'll be back. They're super young, super talented. Few kinks to fix in.
Well, you saw what the star receiver does for you. I mean,
it's crazy. And they get themselves a running back in this draft class that also has some pretty good running backs. And it's known for good running backs to fall to the later end of the first round.
They need a workhorse is what they need. They need a 3-down.
Najee Harris?
I want him to go to Pittsburgh, but that's a different story.
That's for a different day. But yeah, so we will be making our Super Bowl predictions next week, considering that there is no game this week. It is only the Pro Bowl, and I'm pretty sure they're doing a virtual Pro Bowl. I'm not sure how that's going to look. I'm pretty sure it's through Madden. It's going to be a weird Pro Bowl.
That's nasty.
Yeah, I think it's ran through Madden this year, and I think they're going to be playing it. Stupid, but whatever. What's wrong with getting them all together for one more time, one more great hoorah with all the guys? I don't see a problem with that. But I wanted to do something kind of fun, and Caleb, you can chime in on this one. I wanted to do a way too early 2022 Super Bowl prediction, just to kind of throw something out there. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And Fred, we'll jump right to you on this one.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do one NFC team, one AFC team. How about that?
Well, that can make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's
what it is, isn't
it? Yep. I thought you meant like just one Super Bowl winner total. I'm in it. I'm locked in.
Super Bowl matchup, dog.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm going to use a surprise team because I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go back next year. But I'm going to start with the NFC, and I'm going to say the 49ers go back.
Okay. So they had a lot of injuries, man.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Nick Bosa got injured super early. Didn't really have a quarterback. So,
you think Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback next year?
I do not.
I would love to see Deshaun Watson in there.
Hot take. He goes to Indianapolis.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
That would be intriguing. I want Matthew Stafford or Carson Wentz. I don't think Carson.
If Matthew Stafford goes there, they could go to the Super Bowl. I'm not even kidding. With that offensive line.
For the 49ers.
No, to the Colts.
Yeah, that would be. They already got.
If they can get them a quarterback, they'll go to the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah, so you got the 49ers on the NFC. What about the AFC? And don't say Steelers. Thank you.
This is gonna sound super crazy. The LA Chargers.
Oh God.
LA Chargers, man. I think Justin Herbert's my 2022 MVP. I think
way too early. Hot take by Fred.
Hey,
already bringing the heat.
What's going on? Jaylen Brown playing for the Chargers?
he might.
Can he play football?
Yeah, he might. But Caleb, do you have just going out on a limb 2022?
I like the Chiefs going back. I like the Chiefs a lot. I'll safe bet maybe, but I'll have them going back yet again.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
They can go for the next 10 years.
Yeah, but I'll bet on that one. And then give me in the NFC. Oh man, this one's tough. Give me, you know what? Screw it. Let's go with the Seahawks. I like Russell Wilson.
Oh no, that offensive line is nothing. I don't think the Seahawks make the playoffs next year.
Ooh, hot take alert! Another one. Fred's coming in hot tonight, fellas. He's coming in hot. And I mean, if I'm not having any, I also put down the Chiefs. I went out on a limb towards the middle of the year this year and said they'll be the first ever team to three-peat. And I'm going to hold to that. I think
okay, guys, hold on. What are we professional here? What are we doing?
I mean, I'd go Chiefs from the AFC. And if I did something weird for an AFC team, let's see.
Yeah, I get weird, man.
If I got a little funky. Oh, where'd my head taking me? I would say wherever Deshaun Watson goes, but then I feel like he could go NFC. What's up?
Is there any shot he ends up in Pittsburgh?
Ben would have to retire quick.
If he retires, I think we go all in.
I don't see why not. I'd say,
hey, Juju, hey, Devin Bush.
If I went on a limb, I would just say Browns. If I were to say a team, I think that they can get over the hump next year. And then my NFC team, I got the Cowboys. I was super high on them coming into the year this year, and then Dak
they would have made a deep playoff run if he stayed.
I love Dak.
The way he was playing. He would won MVP.
I'm a huge Dak fan, and their offensive weapons are unbelievable. And that offensive line's still solid.
I was about to say that I think they need to re-up on that offensive line.
They need to assure it a little bit in the free agency, maybe, and then the draft young defenders, because that's what they're missing. Elite playmakers on the defensive end. Maybe get you a linebacker.
I really wanted to say Cowboys, but I just don't know how Dak's going to come back.
Dak come back great. I believe in Dak.
Can we say he's elite now? Is he in that level?
I don't know if he's elite. It depends what you call elite, right?
I'm thinking Tom, Rodgers, guys like that.
I in my opinion, just off the top of my head, I think there's 5 or 4. I would go Deshaun Watson, Patty, Tom, Aaron.
You're putting Deshaun up there.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Watson's unbelievable. He just doesn't have the weapons, man. And whenever he did, they were up 24-0 on the Chiefs.
I want to see Stafford go somewhere with weapons because I think he could be.
You love Stafford.
I'm a big fan of Matthew Stafford.
But yeah, I just kind of wanted to do that. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. Just kind of go out on a limb. And if I went out on a limb on the NFC, even more of a limb, I'd go Minnesota Vikings.
We're X Factors.
Minnesota Vikings. I really like Mike Zimmer. Love the coach.
You know how much I liked the Vikings last year.
Dalvin Cook's a workhorse. Justin Jefferson. You kidding? Adam Thielen. I know. That's what I'm saying. Irv Smith. Them boys. Like, you kidding me? But yeah, so that's just something fun I wanted to do in the NFL, considering it's going to be another short NFL segment. It's almost towards the end of the year, and it's almost over. So let's soak in one last final week of football next weekend, and hopefully see a great game.
I think it's going to be a great game.
I can't wait to talk about that next week.
I'm excited.
It's going to be really entertaining.
It's going to be fun. But we're going to go ahead and transition to the 3-question game with Fred. We're already going to the NBA. I'm really excited about these questions just because it kind of gets us talking here. And so for the first question, Fred and Caleb, which team has been the biggest disappointment so far this season?
I don't think this is a surprise coming from me because I said at the beginning of the season, this team did not get better. I think they got worse, and that's the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I think they lost pretty bad tonight too.
Yeah, they're now 6-11.
Yeah, the last I looked, they were down by like 18.
Yeah,
the third worst record in the East. I mean, coming off a championship appearance. I mean, yeah, granted they lost, or they haven't had Jimmy really or Tyler.
They haven't had Jimmy, Tyler. They've been dealing with a lot of weird situations, to say the least.
I mean, I don't think it matters though. I just didn't think they got better. I think they still make the playoffs, but I don't think it'd be tough.
They even if it'll be tough for them to make the playoffs. I mean, they lost tonight 109-82.
Who'd they play?
They played the Nuggets.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
did Jokic have his way with Bam or something?
Let me check here. Jokic had 21 and 11.
Shouts out to the Nuggets, by the way.
I mean, JaMychal Green off the bench really played well, but yeah, I mean, Miami Heat, a team that I really liked coming into the year. I really did. I like the Miami Heat culture, but again,
I love them too. I just didn't see it, man. It's just
I think they're the safe bet for this answer. Just because I mean, obviously because of their record, but I think Jimmy's not played a whole lot.
Neither is Tyler, really.
Yeah, and so I think and Jimmy brings a lot for that team.
He's their heart and soul. Plain and simple.
Exactly. So it's like I'm willing to give them more of a break, and I really do think as much as they're struggling right now, they're still going to make the playoffs, and you know what you're going to get out of the Heat when you face them, no matter what their seeding is.
Oh, dude, if they're an 8 seed, I feel bad for whoever that number 1 seed is.
I think Spoelstra doesn't get enough love to how good a coach he is.
Oh, he's incredible. And they're fighting. They fight a lot. This game is misleading because then it makes you think that they've been getting blown out all the time. Like they fought with the Nets and then the score kind of got out of hand last game. And then they only lost by 4 to the Nets. And they've been battling with some teams.
Yep.
But this year's so weird too because of how many the COVID related stuff going on. So it's you can look at standings, but it's you have to how much does it really matter at the end? You know what I'm saying? Because it's you got guys hurt, you got guys sitting out all the time, a team
with the safety protocols, man.
Yeah. So it's it's so hard to really establish who's really standing out and who's disappointing because it's sometimes guys are missing their but Michael Porter Jr. was out for however long.
He has been balling.
Yeah, he needs to be their number 2 option.
The Mavericks have been missing multiple solid rotation players.
Yeah, Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson, Kleba. There's someone else I can't remember.
Finney Smith, I believe.
Yeah, Finney Smith.
I like.
I would probably say that the Heat is the overwhelming answer for this.
Well, then who'd you go, Caleb?
I went for me personally. I would because if you know how high I was on this team coming in, I went the Wizards. Well, I was high on. I was high on them after this trade. I really was. I said that this would put them in a playoff spot.
Well, they shouldn't be this bad. I mean, for sure.
They're 3-10. I think after tonight they might be 3-11. And last I looked,
I tell people
right before I left work, I looked at their score and they were down by
they lost by 18.
Man, how hard?
Bradley Beal had 47 points and they lost by 18.
Right? Hey, did y'all see that image of Bradley Beal yesterday crying on the bench?
Yeah,
get him out. I've been screaming it for 2 years.
See the stat today before their game that Russell Westbrook has 163 points on 163 shots.
That ain't getting it done.
No, I'm a big Russ fan. I always have been, but I can't justify this.
Man, I've never been a Russell Westbrook fan.
I watched majority of their game yesterday when they played the Rockets, and Russ looked horrible.
Yo, can I say something about the Rockets, man? John Wall could tear his ACL 5 times, and he'd still be more athletic than half the dudes in the league. It's crazy how athletic that kid is.
And I love the resurgence of Boogie.
I'm so happy.
Struggling.
He deserves it.
But yeah, dude.
I'm gonna say the Wizards. I should have factored their defense is atrocious.
Oh yeah,
literally, it's god awful.
Is Scott Brooks still their coach, or they fired him?
Yeah, he's still there, not for long.
He's gotta
go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Wizards just because from a personal aspect, I was really high on it.
I get that.
Yeah, and I went Pelicans. The Pelicans.
I thought about them a lot. I think
the Pelicans are 5-10. Obviously now they're 6-10. Just got to win against the Wizards.
Yeah.
But their wins have come against the Kings, who have been the Thunder. They beat the Raptors twice whenever the Raptors were really, really struggling, and now the Wizards and the Spurs. They're 14th in the West, 24th in defensive efficiency, 27th in offensive rating, 22nd in points per game, top 5 in turnovers, and their first round pick that they drafted in right outside the lottery or towards the end of the Kyra Lewis, one of the dumbest picks of the draft. You have Lonzo, you have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, you traded for Eric Bledsoe. It's what are you doing? Just adding another guard in there.
Can we make a quick comment about the Pelicans?
Yeah, what's up?
The rumors of them willing to trade Lonzo and JJ Redick.
Yeah, I've heard some potential packages, and
the JJ one I don't get. Lonzo, JJ I don't get.
Get him on a winning team. He don't want to. He's towards the later end of his career.
He's so good, man. It's so fun to watch.
I think JJ Redick goes to the Warriors for some kind of deal involving Kelly Oubre.
No, they like him.
No, the Warriors are open to trading him.
The Warriors have been openly shopping him, but I think it would have to be with Lonzo and JJ. I think if they did, there's no way unless the Pelicans offered him a first-round pick.
I mean, I guess play Steph off ball. I mean,
I think
with Zoe. Oh yeah.
I mean, you could have him come off the second unit, and he's like a guy maybe not as efficient or as good as like a Sean Livingston who can't shoot but can move the ball around and can defend.
How good is Sean Livingston?
Very underrated.
So good.
But yeah, I mean, Steph Curry is one of the greatest off-ball players of all time.
Dude, if you just watch a Warriors game and just do yourself a favor and watch Steph, just how he moves, especially if you're a young basketball player and you're an off-ball player, watch him move.
Speaking of Kelly Oubre, tonight he's got 16 points on 5 of 5 shooting, 2 of 2 from behind the line.
His problem is consistency.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that's extremely interesting, that those trade rumors. But let's go ahead. Let's transition to question number 2. Which team has been the biggest surprise this season for you, Fred?
I thought about a couple teams. Cavs won, Spurs won, but I'm gonna go Indiana Pacers here, man.
Really?
I know Caleb doesn't think that's a surprise, but to me that's a surprise. I don't think. I thought
I knew one of you two were gonna say them. I knew it.
It's not a diss or anything. It's like
no, I'm not saying it is. And I'll let you finish before I throw my 2.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, they're 11-7. What are they now in the East? Third in the East, above the Nets and the Celtics. So I saw them usually as a middle pack team, but man, I could realistically see them finishing the top 3 this year.
The whole East right now is like middle of the pack. They all have like 8 losses. Almost every single team has like.
Can we agree Sabonis is a top 5 big in the league?
No.
I don't know about that one.
Joe Jokic, who?
I'd take Drummond over him. I would take Anthony Davis.
Cat when he's healthy.
I still don't count Anthony as a 5.
I mean, if we're counting 5s, then potentially, but you just said big, so it's like that kind of throws.
And I think, they don't have another guy right now. Like LeVert's not playing.
Yeah,
and PJ Warren got hurt. Like they find a way to win, and they just surprise me. I like them.
Dougie McDermott's been playing out of his mind. I love Doug McDermott. That's one of my favorite players in the league.
I just wish we could see them play.
I'll say this: I don't think they're a surprise, and it's because if you look where they finished last year, they were number 4.
Yeah,
and that's with a history with Victor Oladipo being out majority of the year.
Yeah,
Sabonis was hurt at the end of the year, so it's like if they're top 4, if they're finishing top 5 with some of their best guys being hurt, like in and out. Jeremy Lamb had injuries, TJ Warren had injuries, and the same thing this year. So it's like I just don't think that's a surprise. Like I expected the Pacers to be a top 6 team in the East.
Yeah, I just think personally they're surprising me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I was there's one of those things like, God, did they get better? Did they get better? And hey, they're proving me wrong. I love Sabonis. Y'all know how much I love Sabonis.
Sabonis. Caleb, who was your biggest surprise?
I've got 2 answers to this one, and I'll say first, I'll get it out of the way. I have the Rockets. They don't have a great record. They're 7-9.
Are you saying surprise in a bad way or good way?
Good way. Because I think with all that going on with James Harden, to still have like a good, like I think that if you would have told us a year ago they had a team of John Wall, Victor Oladipo, and Boogie Cousins, you would have expected them to be like really, really bad. You know what I mean? And Christian Wood,
really bad.
Yes, coming off of
I'd say top 5 team in the West.
Whoa, no, you wouldn't have.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't even say a playoff team.
They're a playoff team.
No, and I'm saying if you told us that a year ago, like
okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's as much hype as Christian Wood's gotten within the last year. You look at his stats last year on a really bad team, nothing really like stuck out. And so for him to come over this year and to perform the way he has, like that's like I'm surprised. You know what I'm saying? And I'm surprised, like especially with all this stuff with Harden when he was there, and now with the trade afterwards. And I'm surprised that like it hasn't like tanked out.
Like just imploded right there.
Yeah. So like
better, man.
Yeah. So it's like their record's not great, but like it's still surprising to me. But my probably is obviously the Cavs. The Cavs right now, man. I mean, they're 9-9. Colin Sexton right this year is averaging 25 points, 4 assists on 50% from the field and 46% from 3.
That's good for a point too.
That's great.
Percent for a point.
That's great. 46 from 3 is great.
Yeah, that's insane.
Drummond's tough.
It's like me.
I think I want to say I had the Cavs like last in my.
I didn't even think the Cavs even had a team.
I had them last.
I think I had them bottom 3 for sure.
They're just fun. Like they're young, just run and gun guys.
That's what it is.
Dude, Larry Nance, I defensive player of the year. I've heard some talks.
Lakers not on a draft. They really did.
No kidding.
But I like their pickup in Isaac Okoro too. I like what they're doing. They're heading in the right direction. And I really didn't think that was what they were going to do this year. And so for that, they're my most surprised.
Hey, where do you think they finished this year? If you had to put it on it right now.
I say they're a lock for the play-in tournament.
Okay, because they're 6 seed right now as it stands.
Yeah, I think they're a lock. That's giving a little bit of leeway to finish 7, 8, 9, or 10. But I think you see them there for sure.
Yeah, I also went with the Cavs, and the way their front office has moved. Colin Sexton taking that big leap looks really good on them. Drummond getting him for pretty much nothing looks like an absolute steal because he looks like a top 5 center in the game. They snagged Jared Allen for literally nothing. If Drummond's not the answer long term, which I don't know why he wouldn't be, but if he's not, then they got Jared Allen to be that. They've beaten the Nets twice. They've beaten the 76ers. Their basketball isn't pretty. They rank, in the bottom half on offense and defense. Like what they do is not pretty.
Yeah, I was looking at their stats right quick, and I was like, ooh.
No, like it doesn't look pretty.
If you saw that and you were like, I'd be like, oh, this team's in the bottom half of the East.
Yeah, you would think that their record would be like 4-12, 4-13. It has not been pretty, and I made sure to highlight that. It hasn't been pretty, but they continue to make the moves and to win.
Cleveland grit. Come on.
Fred, I'm surprised your team, your answer wasn't the Kings with how high you were on them.
They're underperforming.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not disappointed in them.
Right. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But have you heard the rumors about Andre Drummond? Apparently, it's a lot of execs in the league believe it's a foregone conclusion that him and Cleveland agree to a buyout and he ends up on the Brooklyn Nets. That is the rumors that have been swirling everywhere today that I have found on Twitter. No official sources have confirmed that.
Hold on.
But
wait a minute. Is DeAndre Jordan going anywhere?
No.
Oh, if he goes there,
if
might.
Andre Drummond goes there, and
I might say they might beat the Lakers.
If they don't beat the Lakers, that would be
how they have the cap.
They got the mid-level, and it would be a 1-year prove-it deal with Drummond. And I don't know how I don't understand the disrespect Drummond gets from around the league. That's just the rumors. I don't
know how that happens because obviously I know how it happens, but the Cavs are playing well. Why would they? And they just signed Drummond.
I know. I feel like if you trade anybody, it'd be Kevin Love because he's the one not playing. And you have you have Larry Nance, you have Okoro, you have like these guys that you like. What's up, Fred?
Kevin Love to the Warriors.
For who?
Just throwing it out there. Just put it in the universe.
They would be able to spread at all 5.
Hey, remember when they almost traded him for Klay Thompson?
Yeah, that was awful. That would have been terrible. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to throw that out there because I had saw that today and it kind of took me back. I was like, why sort of would that happen? Because obviously the Cavs are playing and Drummond to me, again, like I would take him over a lot of big men in this league, especially for what
I watched the highlights of the Nets Heat game, or no, sorry, the Cavs. The Cavs Nets, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Drummond, no, was it? It was the Cavs. They played somebody. Trust me, they played somebody. Anyway,
obviously,
dude, he was just everywhere. He had like 17.
He's a ball hog. He's a ball hog.
17 and 8 in the first quarter. I'm like, dude,
and he doesn't get big minutes. It's not like they're running this dude. I feel like he plays the whole first quarter. They barely play him in the second quarter. He plays a lot of the third, and then he's out the rest of the game. Like they don't play him big minutes either.
He's been consistent his whole career. It's not like he's been.
He gets. He's one of those players. He's one of my favorite players in the league.
He was just hidden in Detroit. Like that's just plain and simple.
Dude, I love watching him play, and I wish again he wasn't on Cleveland because he was one of my league pass go-to guys. Whenever I was bored at night and I saw a Detroit Piston game, I was like, oh. I gotta watch Drummond, but
quick shout out to the Thunder too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there was a lot of but there was a lot of NBA insiders and reporters saying they were going to be the worst team, And I mean, yeah, they're like the Rockets. Their record's not great.
Well, on paper, they would be the worst team.
I mean, arguably. But yeah, I mean, for them to be playing the way they are, to be not bottom 3 in the league, which a lot of people expected, and Shea's playing really, really well.
What's their average age? 19.
It's like I heard this today. I heard this today on a podcast. It's like 21.
You're a kid.
21 years old in like 164 days.
That makes sense.
That's their average starting 5 at least.
That's crazy.
You get George Hill out of there, their average age is 17.
Yeah, seriously.
He holds that old man. Him and Al Horford. Al Horford hold it down.
Why is he still there? Get Al Horford out, please.
Al Horford's solid, man.
But yeah, so that was a pretty fun segment. So again, the biggest surprise for Caleb was the Rockets, and he kind of threw in the Cavs there towards the end.
Cavs/Rockets.
I'll say the
Cavs/Rockets.
Because I mentioned
Pacers/Cavs, and then I went Cavs.
Hey, nobody said the Jazz. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think we will touch on them with the top 5 NBA teams, which is the next question that we will be moving to. We will all go from our 5, then our 4, like we have been doing in previous videos. So this is basically updating from our previous one 2 weeks ago. We will continue to do this every 2 weeks until the conclusion of the season. And so, yeah, the top 5 NBA teams in the NBA right now. Fred, shoot me your number 5.
I got the Jaylen Brown-led Boston Celtics at 5. How good is Jaylen Brown? I mean, dude, this dude.
They lost tonight.
Hey, you know what? Jaylen Brown bought his tail off.
That was a hard-fought game. That game was fun to watch. I watched a little bit of the first.
Jaylen Brown, first player in the shot clock era, scored 33 points in 19 minutes. Just saying it. I'm just throwing it out there, boys.
But I will say, like, as much heat as we give you for Jaylen Brown, he's really, really good. He's really good.
Man. He's really good. He is really. I love Jaylen Brown.
And what he's doing is impressive.
But you just praise him.
Jaylen Brown jersey. Come on.
And I will say, I disagreed with you at one point where you said he does more for the Celtics. I think I agree with you. I think he does more. I think defensively, what he brings defensively and offensively, yes. I would argue it's definitely. It's definitely.
If you're making that claim, you could argue that Marcus Smart does more.
No,
because he's just a pest on defense.
Yeah, but he's
probably their best defender. But they did lose tonight to the Spurs, and the Spurs, man, I've been saying and singing the Spurs praises for a little bit. They're fun, man.
Let me say one more thing about Boston Celtics. What do they have to do to get over the hump?
Trade Kemba Walker.
Okay.
For a good center. Get Nikola Vucevic in the building. Period. Point blank. Trade Kemba, get you Nikola Vucevic. I don't know if the Magic would go for it, but maybe with the Markelle Fultz and they see a potential playoff push with Kemba.
Do you think they need a scoring center? Do you think that's what they need?
Just a better center. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if I would say they need any more scoring though. That's the hard thing because I think that's their struggle. That's their struggle that they had in all the other years. Is if you have too much scoring, you're taking away from the guys that need to be scoring.
But Vucevic addresses a whole different need and a whole different scoring threat on a different side.
I'm not disagreeing.
Dominant point guard that needs the ball in his hands to make something happen because he can't guard and he can't do anything else. He's a playmaking point guard. Like that's what he does. But while Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum need to be your primary guys,
he
can run in the high post. He can run in the low post. He can set screens. He can pop. He can just space the floor in a little 5-out set. Get Nikola Vucevic's ball.
Hey, Lonzo Ball would be good there.
Where, Boston?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just another Marcus Smart-esque. Marcus Smart-esque player. Marcus Smart can shoot better. Caleb, who's your number 5, bro?
Oh, I thought we were doing okay. My number 5 would be the Bucks.
The Bucks.
Yeah. Their record, they've taken a little bit of a hit.
They have.
They're 11-6 right now.
Don't get me on my rant.
If you look
let's not talk about Giannis.
You know what? Yeah. I'll go with the Bucks. I'm confident in that answer.
Doubling down.
I didn't put the Bucks in my 5.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I want to take it back. I want to put the Celtics as well because I want to throw them in there, but I don't see them. I wouldn't put them anywhere else. So I'll put the Celtics above them. I think
I also put Celtics at 5. So let's just get that out of the way.
Because I think, yeah. See, I was like, I want to throw them in. Where am I throwing them in? Okay, 5's perfect. To stay. I don't know what their record was when Tatum was out, but I know they didn't lose every game, but they also didn't win every game. But they also looked solid. Like they put up a fight against the 76ers. And so I'll go Celtics. I think right now unless the Nets do another big move like we're talking about. I think I have Celtics coming out of the East.
I'm going. I think 76ers are primed to take that jump this year.
Did Brooklyn just not exist anymore, or what was?
They can't guard. Guard a soul.
We've already established we don't think Brooklyn.
If you all don't have Brooklyn in your top 5, I might just get up and leave.
Right now, currently, I don't.
And I'll save that for a little bit later. Again, I do have Boston at 5 as well. Fred, who do you have as 4?
I got the Utah Jazz.
I can see a lot of similarities brewing between.
I mean, you got the most overpaid center in the league, but
their team, Jordan Clarkson, early favorite for 6th man of the year.
Royce O'Neal's good.
Royce O'Neal, Georges Niang. I've been singing his praises.
You like Georges Niang? Them Iowa State boys.
2 weeks. Them Iowa State boys, man.
Them Halliburton and Tyree or
Taylor Horton Tucker.
Good night.
Niang knows how to space the floor. Joe Ingles, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal has looked pretty solid. They got Clarkson off the pine. Then they got Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. They were a team last year that I thought if they were healthy, they could have made a nice little push in the Western Conference.
Is there any way they can make any noise in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they can make the Western Conference Finals as long as everything.
They can be like the Nuggets last year, kind of.
Ish. I think they can be a more consistent Nuggets. I think that the Nuggets will have years where they are, a 6, 7 seed, and then years where they're like 2, 3 seed.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like just kind of like a roller coaster ride, unless they buy in to Michael Porter Jr. being their second option.
Wait a minute. Is LeBron still on the Lakers? Is he still in the Western Conference?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good then. Nobody's making it out.
Yeah. Caleb, who you got it for?
I got the Clippers.
Clip City.
Whoa, that's a little low there, C. Willie.
I mean, I just never I think they could make a playoff run, but I'm hard on the Clippers just because it's like when your 2 stars can miss any given game because of injury or
timeout.
Are you about to read off their numbers? Because I was about to do that.
No, they are out due to health and safety protocols this week.
Are they?
So they are out for a whole week.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, but like they also have a history of missing games because of injury.
They do.
So it's like I'm hard.
Come on, dude. Kawhi's an 82 gamer. Come on.
Shut up. I'm hard on them, and I want to put them over. Like I want to put them top. I think they arguably are a top 2 team, but it's just like I don't know. You know what I mean? I think Paul George is super inconsistent too. I'm really hard on him. I'm really hard on Paul George.
Yeah, ever since he joined the Clippers, I feel like he kind of bought into the Kawhi. Like he saw what Kawhi did and then kind of started doing it his way too. And I thought that was bad. I thought he needed to stick with that mentality that he had in Indiana. What made him so much fun and so great to watch was that grit, that grind. He was going to do whatever it took. And then the first year with the Clippers last year, he kind of looked like he was going with
I wouldn't disagree with you, Fred, that it's a little low, but like I'm just really hard on the Clippers. But both their stars right now are putting up 50, 40, 90 on like 23 and 25 points. It's super impressive. But
yeah, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are 2 of the best players in the game. And especially on the defense side of the ball. They do a lot. But I just don't like the rest of the Clipper team.
I will always hold Paul George's inconsistency over him though.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And at number 4, I also have the Utah Jazz. I think that they're very slept on and could easily move up the list.
Records don't lie, man.
Could easily move up the list. Like, all it takes is a losing streak from the Lakers. All it takes is a losing streak from, one of these other teams. And, the Jazz are the number 1 seed in the Western Conference and the toughest conference in basketball. And, so I did go Utah Jazz. And I love Donovan Mitchell. I really do. He's fun to watch.
Not sold yet.
A bit of a terrible game against the Knicks, but he apparently got tested for like a concussion after the game, and he has a concussion.
He didn't play tonight either.
Yeah, he's out tonight, and Rudy Gobert is absolutely tearing it up. Like I'm pretty sure he had like an incredible game. Let me go see his numbers. Just really.
Is he worth the money?
Is he worth the money? No, because they're paying him more than Anthony Davis.
I still can't believe they gave him that contract.
But ever since Rudy Gobert had 29 points and 20 rebounds. But
that's worth the money.
He said, hey Fred.
I looked at halftime. He had 20 and 14, and I was like, "Geez, how many blocks did he have?" He had 3 blocks, 3 steals, 6 offensive rebounds.
Dude, I would think he'd be a better perimeter defender than he is.
He's so slow, but dude, he's so long. He can recover so fast.
It's like Anthony Davis is really a good perimeter defender.
Yeah, he's not bad.
I mean, he's the second behind Nick Richards, but that's fine. We're okay with it. We've come to a realization of that.
All right, Fred. Who's your number 3?
I got the Brooklyn Nets.
Gotcha.
I can't now put them in the top 3.
What is your reasoning?
Gotcha.
They have KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving.
You realize their defense is also very atrocious.
That's fine.
They gave up how many did Colin Sexton score on them?
Too many.
Trae Young just had a great game against them.
But you were gonna say, did they lose?
No, it was overtime. They went to overtime with the Atlanta Hawks.
They will make the NBA Finals by beating the Denver Nuggets by 176 to 174.
Can't play the
no overtime.
But the Brooklyn Nets at 3. That's very interesting to me.
They have 3 of the best players in the NBA. And they might get a 4th. Steve Nash.
He doesn't look good in spots. I'm not gonna lie.
Steve gave me a call.
I'm not gonna lie. I have my criticisms of Steve Nash early on.
Right,
it may just be
as a coach.
Yes.
Okay.
Fred, can I ask you a question?
What's up, bud?
You realize they have the most losses out of any team in our top 5?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, just asking.
Okay, and Caleb, who's your number 3?
He said just asking.
The Jazz.
I agree. Yeah.
Their 10-game win streak.
Numbers don't lie, man.
Their defense. I was listening to a podcast today because I'll be honest, I don't watch the Jazz a whole lot.
Who does?
Exactly. But I mean, Donovan Mitchell obviously is playing really, really well, but Gobert is that defensive anchor, and their defense has stepped up big time. And Mike Conley's been playing very well for them as well. And you got like guys like Joe Ingles and Bogdanovich and all those guys. Like I like them, but I don't at the same time. But
they're not like a flashy team. They're not a fun team. You know,
when you're on a 10-game win streak, and you win tonight against a good Mavs team without your best player or arguably your best player, you earn some respect in
they're
that.
on a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah. There's no argument. There's no argument.
Great coach too. Great coach.
I've heard a lot of people make the argument though.
I don't think there's an argument. I think Jordan Clarkson, and I've seen his praises too. Unbelievable off the bench.
Next Lou Williams.
Yeah, do what?
Next Lou Williams.
No,
he can be better than Lou.
No, but I'm saying like
what?
that set bench guy for.
Yeah, set it and forget it. Maybe like he's like the next Jamal Crawford, Lou Will, like just one of those.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
6 man of the year every year. He also had 7 rebounds tonight as well. Jordan Clarkson. I really like Jordan Clarkson at 3. I have the 76ers. I think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if it's relatively close in my opinion. I like the Celtics a lot. But I just with Kemba and all their ball dominant guys, I love the Celtics, always have. And it's weird being a Laker fan, loving the Celtics as much as I do with like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Huh? I don't care. The 76ers know how to guard. They can stop opposing teams from scoring. Joel Embiid is one of the most underrated, underappreciated defensive anchors in the game. Ben Simmons, another underappreciated defender. Matisse Thybulle off the bench, great defender.
Can they stay healthy?
Not bad. Yeah, I believe they can. I think they're primed to take the next step this year.
I don't see them.
Okay. I really like them. They're my number 3 team. I think I don't even know if the Nets are a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, but that's for another day. But yeah. So number 2, Fred, who you got?
The LA Clippers.
Clip City.
Easy pick there. 2 best players in the NBA. I just don't see a world where they don't make the Western Conference Finals.
Really?
I really, really hope they do. I think the Clippers Lakers is the best for basketball.
The world needs that, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you. I wanted it last year. There would have been fist fights on the court if that happened last year.
Yeah, Clippers Lakers would be interesting.
Oh, it'd be more than.
I mean, it'd be a quick sweep, but it'd be interesting, sure.
I think the Lakers would.
Who guards LeBron?
Have their way.
Kawhi?
I think they take turns.
I don't think anybody can guard LeBron.
Oh no.
Not a soul in this.
Sorry. Who's going to stand in front of LeBron while he goes around?
Stand in front of LeBron as he.
Who's going to be the Herbie Kirby that they pull up to him?
30 points, and tonight
he's going to get shoved to the floor by LeBron.
Did you see that last night where he shoved? Who did he shove to the ground last night?
It was tonight. He shoved Joel.
No, he shoved a guard. a guard switched on. He just pushed him out. It was so funny.
But yeah, I don't see. I also have the Clippers at 2. Just kind of jump in here. Yeah. I also have the Clippers at 2, and it's literally just because the way Kawhi and Paul George are playing. Obviously, their record is going to get worse throughout the next week, and probably in 2 weeks they won't be number 2. But
is Ty Lue their coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I don't like him as coach. I don't think he's a good coach either. But I mean, I just don't like that whole team. But I like dude. I love Kawhi Leonard. I always have. I don't like the way he approaches the game, but I like his game in general. Like,
what do you like about his approach?
Just the way he takes some games off, how he feels like he needs to. He needs that load management. I don't think he's a leader, and I think he lacks that. And I think that's what the Clippers team lacks. That's why.
Yeah, because Paul's definitely not a leader.
Yeah, whenever there was rumors that Chris Paul could end up in the Clippers again, I was like, okay, like that's legit. That could be a legitimate.
That would have been interesting.
But I don't see who's even on the open market that they could grab to get another leader, because I don't think Paul George is a leader. I don't think Kawhi Leonard's a leader, and I can tell you who's definitely not a leader who tries is Patrick Beverly.
They're interested in Derrick Rose.
What is that? Leader.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think he could help.
Wait, Chris Paul would not have worked there. Those personalities would not.
I'm just saying, like, him as a leader, he would have held guys accountable.
I agree. I just personalities, no way.
Yeah, because they have a different approach to the game than a lot of people. But
I couldn't see Paul George and Chris Paul getting along at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I had to put them there just out of respect of how well they're playing. Yeah. And I also think that they are the second best team in the NBA when it comes down to just, put the best 5 out there. I think they can do it. But when it comes to the middle of the game, if you don't play Paul George and Kawhi 40-plus minutes, I don't see how you compete with some of the top dogs in the West. I don't think they make a Western Conference Finals. If I'll go on a limb today, I don't think they do it. I've said the Suns before. I've said the Jazz. I just think if the bracket,
I don't have faith in the Jazz.
Do what?
I don't have enough faith in the Jazz.
And you have faith in the Clippers?
Yeah. I have more faith in the Clippers to make the conference finals than the Jazz.
You have the team that's never been to the conference finals. You have faith that they can.
Yeah, but Kawhi's been there before.
Yeah, I mean, what happened last year? Like, what happened last year? Yeah, what they blew a 3-1 lead. Yeah, it sucks.
It happens. We've all been there.
But it's like I think outside of they're outside of the bubble this year.
Maybe, potentially. I think they'll go back to a bubble for the playoffs.
Wouldn't blame them.
That
was the best basketball we've seen. I think you all can agree in a while.
Yeah, if you sat down and watched the bubble, it was incredible.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's like I said. I don't just necessarily disagree with the Clippers. I'm just really hard on them.
Yeah. Oh, me too. You have every right to they're not making a Western Conference Finals. I don't think they make it.
You have every right to be hard on them. I agree.
Yeah, everybody does. And Caleb, who's your number 2?
76ers. I really liked what I saw of them tonight. I think they were looking really, really good throughout that whole game. And then once the technical fouls started coming into play, it slowed all the momentum down. And that game turned from like really, really interesting to really hard to watch. But I think
the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Hey, who is their who's their like X factor? Who's the guy?
Tobias Harris for sure. I agree. But if you look at and I've really went back and forth about the 76ers because if you look at the teams they've beat, they haven't really beat anybody that sticks out. They beat
was huge. Tonight was huge for them.
Yeah, and tonight was the determining factor for me to put them at 2 or 5. But they beat the Celtics twice, but without Jason Tatum. They beat the Heat twice, and then everybody else they beat are like middle of the pack teams.
The only thing that gives me a little concern about the 76ers, and again, I think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, but this is just me trying to create a little conversation here. The Lakers literally in the fourth quarter were just going with the flow for a little bit. Like they were just playing. It was a basket here, basket there. They weren't really. And then at about 4 minutes, the Lakers were like, okay, they took LeBron out and they were like, okay, we're going to lock in on the defensive end for about 4 minutes. And that's what they did. They locked in for 4 minutes, went on a 14-0 run, and almost stole the game. The 76ers could have won that game by double digits.
That also plays into the momentum of the game being shifted with all those things. Because that slows everything down.
But they were up double digits again.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I think you have to factor that. I think you have to factor that in a little bit. But I think I like their weapon. I might be the biggest Seth Curry fan on the planet. I really like Seth Curry, and I really like his
But you say Seth Curry,
Danny Green, I think he fits in there too.
Seth Curry's almost averaging 16 points. Holy cow!
Yeah. What's he shooting from three?
He is shooting after he didn't shoot well tonight. 54%.
I mean, that's tough.
But no, I really like him.
Like he's only shot 54 threes though.
He was out with COVID for a while.
Is that a low number?
I think Tobias Harris is stepping up to like, I don't know if I would say their second best player, but their second best offensive player, obviously.
I don't think it'd be crazy to say he's their second best player.
But if you look at like their schedule, like different games, they have like different scoring leaders, like Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid some nights, Shake Milton a couple times, Tyrese Maxey one night. So it's like they have different threats that they can bring at any given night. I really like the 76ers. I've said it before the season started. If you're going to bet on the 76ers, now is the year to do it.
Great bench unit.
This little stretch they're about to go on is going to be big. They got the Timberwolves, the Pacers, the Hornets, Trailblazers, and the Nets. That's their next 5. And then they end off that next 5 with the Kings. So they could go on a 7-game winning streak, beat the Lakers, Trailblazers, Nets, Pacers. That's four really solid teams that they could take down and absolutely go on a stretch where they just start separating themselves and establish, if there are fans for the playoffs. Imagine having to go to Philadelphia. That toxic environment.
That's one of the hardest cities to play.
Yeah, and
mean out there.
We reiterated before, the Lakers don't really play in big games until about March. That's whenever the Lakers start really inserting themselves in these bigger games and like trying to assist
the full roster, all of them.
Yeah, like dude, it's the strangest thing ever, and I've realized it over the last 2 seasons. Like all these Laker fans on Twitter is freaking out about losing in January, and it's just like
they're 14-5.
Yeah, and like they lost the game. I'm pretty sure they were up like 19 to the Warriors. When's the last time we saw LeBron led team blow a 20-point lead in the game to the and it's just one of those things that like they just slowly start getting into these bad habits where they just they kind of get lackadaisical. They don't really try. They're just out there, and they still find a way to turn it on and in moments and you're just like, wow, like whenever this team tries, it's unbelievable. But they do have
we need to have MVP talk here soon.
We will. That's probably next week.
Hey, can I change my stance on one thing I said?
Yeah, what's up?
JJ Redick's got to go. I didn't realize how bad he was playing. Have you all seen his stats?
He's not shooting well.
He's shooting 30% from 3, 33%. He's shooting 36 for 108 from the field, 33%. He is 25 for 25 from the line. But
he's one of those guys where it's like you just put him in a new system where he's refreshed. You won't lose I have confidence that JJ Redick will never lose his shooting touch.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh yeah.
So it's like he just put him in a new system. Let him feel better.
Let him go to Boston and stand in the corner.
Go to Boston?
Let him go to Boston and stand in the corner. You kidding me?
I don't see why not. Like get rid of like those young guys.
They don't have a dead eye. They don't have a dead eye shooter.
Get rid of the like 2 of those young guys that never play for you. Like Romeo Langford.
Yeah, give him Romeo Langford in a second for JJ.
Carson Edwards.
But Fred, who's your number 1 team? Caleb, do we all agree that it's the Lakers?
Yeah, just look behind you.
I was gonna say the Nets. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Hey, wouldn't blame you. I'm telling you.
Dude, I've watched an absurd amount of Nets games this year. I watched the full extent of the Hawks net game, and
that's your team.
The Hawks had no reason to be in that game. Trae Young shot terrible. Cam Reddish poured it on. They made Cam Reddish look like an all-star. They made Clint Capella look like and Clint Capella's looked very, very good. Don't get me wrong. They made John Collins look great. DeAndre Hunter is taking the next step. I really like the Hawks, but the Nets just can't guard anybody. And everybody freaked out whenever they held the Heat to like 88 points. It was like, oh, cool. You held
without 2 of the best offensive
you
players.
Held the Bam led, no Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, no this, no that.
Did the Nets win?
With the Heat were playing KZ Okala or whatever.
Yeah, Okpalo. They had another G League guy with an afro that goes out like this,
someone like that. Yeah.
What are we doing? Guard. Somebody.
Did they win?
Yeah, I mean they won.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's cool that their style play can get you through January and February. Just hold on to those moral victories in January and February.
Well, if going back to the Lakers real quick, I've always wanted to ask you this: what's your stance on Kyle Kuzma?
Kyle Kuz?
Yes.
Obviously whenever we were bad, he was really fun to watch because, he had that full reign and could just shoot whenever he wanted. Kuzma was a young guy that came into the league again on really bad teams. And so he developed really bad habits when it comes to a basketball player because he was in a very not winning situation. So adjusting his role last year, I didn't like him last year. Last year he struggled bad. But this year he's kind of accepted his role. And as a Laker fan, I enjoy watching him hustle. I enjoy watching him rebound. He's rebounded the ball extremely well as of late.
What about his encouragement?
Do what?
Caleb loves the encouragement attribute.
I like Kyle Kuzma. If there's one like sad thing as a Laker fan right now, it's that Alex Caruso is not getting enough minutes.
Would you be upset if Kuzma got traded?
No, it depends who for, but no.
Fred,
I mean, if they can find a way to get Drummond and move on,
they don't need Drummond. I'm sick and tired of it. LeBron don't need everyone. Fred, let me ask you this:
What's up?
Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden do?
Yes.
No, and I hate big threes. So believe me, I don't agree with that one either. I want
like if they could find a way to get a solid big and then have Trez off the bench with Marc Gasol, like
they have 2 solid bigs. They have 3 solid bigs.
I'm just saying, trade Trez.
Get him, Caleb. Get
him. Fred, let me ask you this:
What's up, bud?
If Kyle Kuzma was not on the Lakers, do you also think that Troy would think he's overrated?
Yeah,
overrated.
Okay. I was just
actually who rates him high? Whoever rates him high, I would tell them they don't watch enough basketball because he's not a high-rated player.
Well, okay, maybe, but I think if he wasn't on the Lakers, he's one of those guys that I think you would just really hate. I really do.
He would be better if he wasn't on the Lakers.
Depends where he's at.
I was about to say, you put him on a bad team, he'll score the heck out of the ball.
But he won't defend anyone.
He guards now. You don't watch a lot of Laker games. I'm starting to buy into that.
If you play with LeBron and you don't guard, I feel like you're getting traded.
You say you hate watching LeBron James?
I said I hate watching Lakers games.
Oh, okay, I don't know why. But that brings us into our game of the week. It's actually the Lakers.
I got one question for you guys.
Yeah, what's up? The bonus question.
Yeah. Which team, if all the players were in their prime, so like their prime year, okay? So like braided Melo, but on their teams right now, who would be the best team in the league?
Still
their primes?
Yeah.
I would take the Lakers. Marc Gasol, all defensive center. I mean, then you have Anthony Davis, LeBron.
I just want to hear.
I would say Anthony Davis is in his prime. Dennis Schroeder's probably in his prime.
Dude, let me say something about Anthony Davis. He does not look like, dude. He's shooting awful from the free throw line. He looks so disengaged during.
He's just not. Yeah, he's just not interested right now.
It's so.
He won that first championship, and now he realizes, okay, I can cruise control until it really matters.
That's what he learned the LeBron way, and that's not bad. I love it. But
who are you talking about?
Anthony Davis, bro. He's shooting terrible from the free throw line.
Yeah,
dude, I was having spaz attacks watching us shoot free throws. Anyway,
I still think it's the Lakers. I think LeBron's in the top conversation for MVP right now. And it's like he's 30, however old. It's like, dude.
37, right?
36. Year 18.
Imagine LeBron in his mid-20s. Like, man.
With Anthony Davis, with Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol in his prime is underrated.
Grizzlies, Marc Gasol.
And then the rest are pretty much in their prime. Like Sugar's in his prime. KCP's in his prime.
Wesley Matthews was decent in his prime.
I just thought it was an interesting question.
Who would you go? Who would you go? I could see you going Nets. I mean, DeAndre Jordan would be tough. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie. But again, you still got.
What does DeAndre Jordan really do now that he didn't do in his prime?
He could jump a little bit better. He had a little extra bounce.
Okay, he could catch lobs a little easier. Like that's it.
Would you agree the Trailblazers would be kind of like a sleeper team there?
It'd be tough.
Right? I don't remember Melo. Really
with the Denver Nuggets, letting them do the Western Conference Finals?
I'm saying no. I'm saying being really, really tough defensively, and that's what I think they would need. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm just saying off the top of my head, I don't remember it. Like when they played the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
So good, bro.
When they played the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals that year, he didn't really guard Kobe all the time.
Those two were just going head to head. It was unbelievable. But
who's guarding Kobe though?
You want to know who? Kenyon Martin.
All right.
I went back and watched one of the games.
Game of the week.
All right. Let's transition to the game of the week. The Lakers are on the road. It's on Saturday. It's the first Saturday primetime game of the year for the NBA. It's Lakers on the road to Boston. It's an 8:30 tip time. Top two teams in each conference. Obviously, the Lakers are, I'm sure, number 2 or number 3 now in the Western Conference. So this has kind of changed things a little bit. The Celtics also lost, so they moved down a little bit. It's an historic rivalry. Celtics have battled through a lot of COVID issues, but seem to be on their way to 100%. The Lakers are franchise best 10-1 on the road, led by the best player in basketball, and I don't think it's close, LeBron James. And it should be a battle, a great battle between the best duo in the league and arguably the best young duo in the league, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and of course LeBron and Anthony Davis. So I guess we can go straight into predictions here. Caleb, who you taking? Saturday primetime. Are you going to go against the Lakers don't win primetime games in January talk?
I mean, do they really though? But
we beat the Bucks, but
yeah, okay, that's true.
But who's counting?
Give me
first loss since January 7th, but who's counting?
Give me the Lakers.
Lakers.
Yeah.
Fred?
You can put the Lakers in the game of the week every week. I'm picking the Lakers.
Yeah, I think has that been the game of the week at least since I've joined? Is at least the Lakers every week? I think so.
The Lakers are a 2 seed. The Celtics are a 5 seed right now.
No, last week's game of the week was a Denver Nugget Miami Heat game.
Was it? Yeah, you're right. Okay,
yeah. Come at me again, Caleb.
No, I'm not. But I'm about to ask you a question about the Lakers.
I'm a one-sided fan, don't you know? But I'm going to take the Lakers as well. I think that they're going to go on another little winning streak here. I know I love the Celtics, but sorry, I don't.
He said sorry.
And what's your question?
You're okay. We love the Lakers here on the X Factor Sports Talk.
What was your question, Caleb?
This goes for both of you. Do you both agree that the Lakers actually have 17 titles?
Do we agree?
What do you mean?
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you consider No, hold on. Come back.
Hold on, count 1, 2.
No. Let me ask you this.
He said come back.
Do you consider the Thunder to have won a championship?
What?
What's your question? Consider that the Thunder have ever won a championship in the league?
No.
Okay, but the Sonics did, right? And they transitioned from Seattle.
Wait, the Sonics won a championship?
Yes. So would you consider that
Wait, really? When?
Yes, it's the same organization. If they won a title, just because they relocate doesn't mean that title.
Yeah, but I'm saying okay.
When did the Super? Where was I?
It was like you weren't even born.
When did they become a franchise?
Like 70s.
Did they really? Dude, you're blowing my mind.
They won a title.
With who?
Couldn't tell you. I think Dennis Johnson was on that team.
The Seattle Supersonics won the NBA championship in 1979.
Yeah, they did.
3 West.
I just think there's whenever I heard it tonight, the two winning organizations in NBA history, they both won 17 titles. But I just think Oklahoma City fans, I don't think they would say they've won a title. You know what I mean?
No.
And the Lakers, I don't know how many Lakers won, but they won a couple when they were in Minneapolis. So that's all I'm saying. I just think it kind of drives me insane just a little bit because it's okay, yeah, technically they've won 17. Technically,
no, I think it's the city you're in.
Thank you. So you wouldn't say 17?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 17. I would. I mean, you're the same.
No, I know. I'm not surprised.
Just because you relocate doesn't mean you're not the same organization. You're from the same ownership group. You're the same this. You're the same that. You just relocate, and then maybe they sell the rights. You can't, take championships away because then, so now this one of the what do they do with that championship? Is it just the Seattle Supersonics, and we'll never have that team again? Is that? I mean, if they come back, then that's a whole different story. But
that's right. That's why I think they did. I think they are.
The Minneapolis Lakers will never come back.
No, Supersonics.
I mean,
and I don't think somebody relocates. I think it's an expansion team. I think they expand 2 teams in the next 5 years.
I know, but it's just one of those things that I think you can't really do anything with it. Really,
I just thought it was a fun question because
it's interesting. I've never even thought about it. If I'm being honest,
I mean, It's something I think about every time they mention the Lakers 17 titles. I'm just kind of like
something you think about every single time. I think you are a
man wakes up in the morning.
Hater,
man, Lakers.
No, every time they mention the 17 titles, yeah, sure, it passes my
you're
mind.
A low key Laker hater.
Okay.
I think it's low key. Okay. I think it's low key though.
If anybody's gonna be a Laker hater, it's gonna be me because I'm a Jaylen Brown fan. And Boston.
I think you try sneaking it in too. I think you're trying to be a closet like.
I love when Caleb's like, okay.
I mean, whatever.
Is there anything else we need to hit on here for the NBA talk? Any other questions or such that we?
I'm good, man.
I'll say one thing. R.I.P. to Sekou Smith, man.
Yep.
That sucks.
Rest in peace. NBA sports writer, NBA broadcast analyst.
When he passed away?
He passed away yesterday. And again, rest in peace to the Mamba, Black Mamba. Hard last few days for a lot of people. So continue to keep his family. And
hey, if you haven't checked out Caleb and Troy's Kobe video, definitely go check that out.
Yes, it was very fun, very good video. We got into a lot of different things, some personal stuff. We touched on a lot. So we appreciate all y'all for listening, for sure. We've been growing a little bit, just a little bit, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So Fred, you can go ahead and get us out of here, brother.
Alrighty, boys. As always, thank you all so much. Again, don't be a star. Don't be a superstar. Be an X factor. Change the game. Be different. We'll see you guys next time. God bless. Peace out.
Peace.